police car.
I'm glad I rebalanced the audio a little. Don't be late, George Woodman.
So we have King George to thank for preparing a car for me. A pleasant surprise.
Take your time, but hurry up, will
Let's
you?
take it for a spin. I have to tell you, Zach, this place simply amazes me. The keys were left on the front hood, and nobody stole the car. Values. This town has what the country needs. Values. Let's head over to the sheriff's department.
And then I immediately became an old man with his right turn signal on. Because apparently, the way you disengage turn signals is you push the opposite pad. Really, odd.
So, Zach, about those bonus features in DVDs nowadays. You know, the ones from the 80s have almost no bonus material. Even if they do, it's a trailer and the visual quality is pretty bad. Well, that
R1
visual
to
quality
accelerate.
is a good reminder of those days. So
Whoa.
many new audio and visual appliances are
L1
coming
to
out back
reverse.
then. Do you remember
R2
the first
apparently
video
does like a
deck we bought?
U-turn.
We bought it to record one of the Star Wars movies on
And
TV.
then L2 is a
And remember when
boost.
that video store opened, we spent hours there, just trying to find a good movie to rent. There weren't that many to choose from back then. I remember renting some really bad ones after reading those back cover taglines. Hey, remember? Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Filmed in 1978. Produced, directed, written,
Grand
and
Theft
edited
Auto.
by John DeBello. It was really awful, but for some reason I still remember it pretty well. It had so many sequels, and the original was re-released in '95. The 87-minute long theatrical release bumped up to a whopping 90 minutes. But that was around the time I joined the Bureau. I never had a chance to see it. I know, Zach. Once this case is over, we can watch it together. I bet we can buy a copy on the internet pretty easily.
Country Ham. Oh my, it's like Ham Guy from Cops.
What's going on?
What's going on here? You got my dinner. Can I help you?
Yeah.
Just walking about, all of a sudden pull a ham out of my pocket. Take a big old bite. Wrong one. This one.
A few moments later. 75 years later.
The victim's name was Anna Graham. Age 18, she just recently graduated from high school this year. Her dream was to move out to the
Captain
city
of
and
the
become a
cheerleader
model.
squad.
But for the time being, she was working in the A&G diner here in town. She lived with her mother, Sally. Anna's father died in an accident in the lumber mill when she was a child. Her mother is unemployed and lives on the insurance money from her husband's accident. After all, it's a small town with a low cost of living. Financially, they seem to get by fine, and they led normal lives.
A normal
That
life
flashing
is exactly
TV
what
is
a curious
really
teenager
bogging
doesn't
me.
want.
Why don't they just turn that
It's all
off?
starting to make sense, Zach.
Really fancy looking donut, though.
City folk, huh? No, I take that back. All of them can't be as bad as him, and some should have better manners.
Huh. This is a good biscuit. I've never tasted a biscuit this delicious. Where in town can I get these?
Well, actually,
Again with the weird camera angle.
I baked them myself.
That's amazing. What are you doing in law enforcement? I'm very particular about biscuits, I'll have you know. The balance of milk and butter you've achieved here. Oh, my.
Agent Morgan, the autopsy's ready. You are welcome to accompany me to the Greenvale General Hospital. Emily, you come too. Thomas, stay here and tidy up these files.
Yes, sir.
We're going to use the car outside. Let's get going.
Are they going to make me
think
drunk?
This is just a small-town police investigation, but our inspections are thorough and solid. I'm hoping you won't slow us down.
I'm like flying the donut like it's an airplane. I do too love carrying around potatoes in my pocket for a small amount of nourishment.
The Greenvale General Hospital is down the road by the lake. It's too far to walk.
That bloom.
Come on, get in the car.
If I'm riding in a car, George, I prefer to be the driver. Can you provide a car for me?
What are you talking about? You don't even know how to get there.
Which is another good reason for me to drive, George. I need to learn my way around town. That's a pretty big hospital. I guess they wanted to be ready for town-wide food poisoning?
No, it's another leftover from the town's prosperous slumber days. Hard to imagine
Slumber
now, though,
days?
isn't it?
My mother always talked about how energetic this town used to be. Almost like a gold rush, she used to say.
Impressive.
But the hotter the fever, the faster it cools. And so now there's hardly anyone left to use this place.
It pains me to watch my hometown lose so many citizens. Beyond your understanding, I'm sure.
Oh, ouch. What
Yes,
the heck?
I'm sorry to say that it is.
Indeed. And that's why this case is our problem.
Why do they
There really
just
isn't
keep
any need for you to get too involved.
being so passive aggressive? We don't like you, York. Just leave. Smallmouth bass. That bass is incredibly happy. Oh, a
Hello,
redhead.
Sheriff.
Oh yeah, I remember this lady, Freckly Fiona. Well, that's not a. I can't tell if that's
Hi
supposed to
there,
be
Fiona.
a nickname of
We're here to
endearment
see
or
Usha.
just a
Do
nickname
you know
of
where he is?
mockery.
I think Dr. Johnson is in the computer room.
Doc Johnson, huh?
A computer room. In a hospital?
Nice to meet you, Mr. FBI agent. The computer room is where our employees share a computer.
Very nice to meet you, too.
Wow, I didn't
I'm
know.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. But how did you know I was FBI?
Easy. None of the police in this town wear cologne.
Ouch.
Besides, that scar on your face is the biggest rumor in town.
Rumors get exaggerated as they spread, even in the countryside.
What's that you're reading, if I may ask?
Alan Wake. Liar, liar, pants on fire's house.
You haven't heard of this yet? It's a recent bestseller mystery. It's set in the U.S., a small traditional North American town close to the Canadian border. A peaceful, traditional place. However, that peaceful town is shattered by a terrible crime.
This
The
drawer
murder of a
is
local
very
girl.
filthy.
And
I noticed that
incident
lady just
causes
bending
grief and
up and
sadness
down.
to everyone in town, but everyone feels the seditious, heinous evil still lurking, alive. Yes, much like the situation right now here in Greenvale.
Fiona, don't say that.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. With Anna dead and all.
Don't worry. Books are written to entertain, and it's good you're enjoying it. What we're faced with here is a terrible crime committed in a real world. Much different from that of a novel. So there's no need to apologize.
Thank you, Agent York.
75 years later.
We couldn't find him.
Fiona needs to check her information.
No, I don't think so. Does the doctor like playing games by any chance?
What do you mean?
There's a message on the computer, and a card key already set in place. The king passes the rook and meets the bishop. The knight takes a pawn along for the queen.
What does that all mean?
It's a simple puzzle.
Zach, let's take him up on his challenge. You can do this, right?
You can do it. I'll just watch. Wait, I went a little too fast.
Zach, something is still missing. We need more clues.
More clues. Darn it. Pushing buttons and nothing's
Zach,
working.
something is still missing. We need more clues.
King passes rook. Oh, king passes rook. So there's king. King. That. I think that's the rook right there. There we go. I'm a puzzle guy, clearly. For some reason, I remembered it just being hit all
Doctor
six
awaits
after one
below
another, and
with
that's
the
how it went.
deceased.
But I guess I was wrong. Clearly.
Another code? But there's nowhere to insert a password.
More games. I'm going to get Fiona
We're
to
gonna
call
kick
Usha
this
up here
guy's
right
ass.
now.
No need, George. The message appeared with the card key. It's telling us where to use it.
This is not the time to be joking around, Agent Morgan.
Dr. Usha is below with the deceased.
Dr. Usher.
With Anna. Below being underground, I take it. Simple. Simple. Then it's time to meet the mischievous architect of this little game.
Shitty little game.
Ah,
I now have Kingdom Hearts. I can now open the doorway to darkness. I'm coming for you, Billy Zane. Alright, Drebin. Here I am. I think I say this every time I see this guy.
Usha, sorry to keep you waiting.
His name's
You
Usha,
made it.
but he looks like
Let's get
Drebin
started,
from
shall we?
Metal Gear Solid 4.
This is Agent Morgan from the FBI.
Nice to meet you. I'm Usha Johnson, the doctor in this hospital.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please call me York. Everyone calls me that.
I don't call you that. Okay, I do.
Very
but
well, Agent York.
Are you a forensic practitioner?
Let's just say I've dealt with corpses before.
I'm a corpse doctor, yes.
That battle of wits, by the way. Did you create that yourself?
Mm-hmm. I just
No,
wanted to
it's
see if
a
our FBI
chess
agent could
move.
handle
I don't
the
know what else
task.
to tell you,
I
dude.
see. Well, it was pretty fun.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
We don't have much time. We need those autopsy results.
Yeah, I know, right?
Next time, try challenging us without obstructing an investigation. You've angered the monarch.
Could have just said the king. It would have been more chess related.
From the onset of rigor
Get it?
mortis,
Chess.
the stiffening of the muscles, the time of death is estimated to be between 20 and 2200 hours. That's still quite early for such a crime to take place. Note that there are 2 exterior wounds, pressure marks around the neck, and a long cut running from chest to abdomen. Blood marks on her right hand tell us she was gripping something round in her right hand. Her skull is also fractured, but that is unrelated to the cause of death. It probably happened to her after she was killed. Now, I first thought death by suffocation, due to the marks on her neck. But after further investigation, I now have a different conclusion. The direct cause of death was loss of blood from the wound.
Which means...
She was cut up while she was still alive.
Yes, a sharp knife was used. It was inserted beneath the sternum and then quickly sliced downwards. The excessive loss of blood from her internal organs is what actually killed her. Her nails are clean, and with no skin cells from the attacker. She also doesn't appear to have been bound nor badly beaten. She was apparently killed without resistance. The most tragic thing, however, was that she was unable to speak her story to anyone who could hear her cries.
The perpetrator cut out Anna's tongue.
Could have just said that.
I believe she was drugged first to phase her consciousness, and then the killer killed her.
Killer killed her.
Now, the killer most likely has a deep, traumatized past concerning women. He probably cannot converse with them normally.
Okay,
Cutting
corpse
out
man.
the
I kind of
tongue
find it weird that you're
suggests a very lonely
giving me a
individual.
psych analysis
Either
of
that
this guy when
or
you're
a
clearly
truly
not
hardcore sadist.
hired to do this.
He must get off
Trying to
on
do some
watching women suffer,
CSI Miami on
especially
him,
when
huh?
they can't answer back.
CSI Greenvale.
Now, he watched as the blood pumped from her body, as she gradually grew cold. A case in Seattle in 1985 was much like...
Usha, please, limit your report to your findings as a doctor. Criminal profiling is my job.
And now I'm going to tell you how wrong you are about how this woman died.
You're wrong, also.
I was right.
Anna died fully, deeply, painfully aware of what was happening to her.
But,
Whoa!
Tell me, what time did it stop raining on the night Anna was killed?
Detective Hank
just
Hill
before I went to bed.
on the job.
Right after the movie on TV ended, so around 1 a.m.
What movie was it?
An American Werewolf in London.
Directed by John Landis, 1981. So the rain stopped, accompanied by the ending song, Blue Moon. George, would you mind if I examined Anna myself?
What more do you hope to find?
Well, somehow he thinks the guy's automatically wrong and he
Sure, I
hasn't even
mentioned that I
examined
have
her,
a personal
really.
interest in cases like these.
That's what I found was so funny. He hadn't even taken a good look at her and he already assumed Usha was wrong. I was trying to look at her feet. You perverts in chat who get off on that kind of stuff. Look at all the things to make the cutscene play.
From her lack of resistance, I'd say that Anna's injuries happened very quickly. Unable to speak, she was then left to cry herself to death.
She cried herself to death.
Zach,
Got it.
it's all starting to come together.
The perpetrator stayed with her for at least 2 hours until it stopped raining. At the estimated time of her death, it was still raining, but you can still see tear marks on her cheeks. That means she was killed under a roof somewhere. She was then carried into the woods after it stopped raining.
There's one other thing. Her tongue was removed with a very blunt knife. In fact, it's more likely it was simply chopped off.
Asha, are you a passionate
Simply
man?
chopped off.
Well, not particularly, but I am man enough should the moment call for it.
George, how about you?
I'm very passionate. Yes. Especially when it comes to women. But I don't see what that has to do with anything.
George, the perpetrator is just like you. He he's passionate about women. He's a passionate kisser. This was a kiss of death.
The perpetrator bit off Anna's tongue.
We'll never get a
Gross.
dental print from a wound like this. But this is still a big lead.
I always forget about that part.
Jackpot, Zach. A shame, but our old-time all-American sightseeing tour just came to an end.
This case is now under the jurisdiction of the FBI. I'm assuming command. I'll need you to assist me in the investigation.
What in the hell do you mean, Agent Morgan? I know I said I was passionate, but you can't think I did this.
That's not why I'm assuming command, George. You're a suspect just as much as every other passionate man on Earth. Let me show you something.
Wait, so what you're telling me is that you're the suspect? That's the only thing you could possibly mean. Yep. York is the raincoat killer. He has admitted it to everybody in the room. Take me to jail.
There you go. Amazing, huh? I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but most of the details are top secret. George, Emily, we should be going. No need to stay here any longer.
Okay. I have to sign the release. Just give me a moment.
Very well. I'll go on ahead. I can't take it any longer down here. Bishop takes queen. His rook takes your queen. Then your knight takes rook. And checkmate.
Huh?
Guess these guys don't know how to play chess that well.
My first victory in the Grandmaster ranking.
Grandmaster of Tetris? I know you can find a submachine gun somewhere.
Zach, they're here.
They're here. You. Is this Brookhaven? Favorite hospital in the country is Brookhaven. Looking for cash. This is where they store all the cash that they steal from their patients. In these little boxes. See, in Brookhaven Hospital, this is clearly not Brookhaven, because in that game, they don't even give you anything. You can't get your money back once the nurses have administered their medicine. Who said that? Is that you? You. You want insurance? I got my insurance right here. It's kitty cat? Looks like a kitty cat. Not a kitty cat though. Probably just like an item. Oh, that key card was crying for me. I think it's actually faster to push the start button when you pick up an item. It is! Why is that even a thing? Alright, time for professional officer Morgan to do his duty and kill these ne'er-do-wells. It is now my God-given duty to put a bullet between these people's eyes until they are dead. Gotta shoot the ones with the guns, though. They're special laser blaster guns. Catch.
A few moments later.
Trying to get that item.
Agent Morgan, if you're so desperate, then why not smoke two at once?
I don't get the joke.
It...
Is there a no smoking sign somewhere?
Who's that old man?
That's Harry. Harry Stewart. One of the bigger problems around here. His father started up the lumber trade and founded this town. He's a weird one, as I'm sure you can see. Always dressed like that, never speaking to the townsfolk. And just FYI, he owns almost the entire town. Not
I like
that
the look
makes
on
any
his
difference.
face. It's like
So long as I'm around,
raised
he won't
eyebrows.
be getting away with any funny business.
And then bug-eyed. You think you can push me around, Mr. Stewart? What's he saying? He's not saying anything.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, haste won't lead you to what you seek.
So says.
Keep your eyes focused on your footing as we speak. So says Mr. Stewart.
Michael Tillett.
Nice to meet you, too. How did you know my name?
You smell bad. Get new cologne.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, information desires you, just as you desire information too. So says Mr. Stewart.
Harry, stop trying to get in our way. Keep this up, and even you'll have to answer to the law.
What does that even mean? He was just saying things.
Mr. Francis York
He
Morgan.
immediately threatens
With
to
each
arrest
rain,
him.
Our town goes mad. To our disdain, unpreventable. So sad. So says Mr. Stewart.
Thanks for the warning.
Then we shall depart, Mr. Francis York Morgan.
What even?
Harry Mason. I came here for a vacation. 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 Harry Mason.